into it. I want to get more into what's going on. But with the seagull, with the Nina,
Oh, yeah.
I want to get much more detail with Nina, but
Sure,
like as the time goes, how do you work with the character? Let's talk about the approach to the character, and then we jump to the next project.
I love Nina. I love working on Nina. And honestly, I didn't know what was going to happen with her. I didn't really have preconceived ideas, except like the year before we'd read the play, and I worked on a scene in class, you know, but it was still set in the 1890s, and I didn't know what was going to happen, except I was going to play Nina. So when I had this idea, let's do it in LA in 1969. It was a very intuitive feeling, and I think I won't lie that it definitely was energistically connected to Sharon Tate, you know, just because I'm working on her. And then we started working in the room, and I was there in my jeans and a t-shirt, and I found a picture of Peggy Lipton from a Life magazine cover, and I said, I really feel like she's dressed like this. How we were talking, how we were using the language, she just began to come. So she wants to be an actress. She gets a kind of TV gig like the Mod Squad for a year, and then she's out. And Austin talked about getting iced out in Hollywood and how it played out in that time. You're going, woohoo. And, you know, I asked too many questions, and I come in with doing too much coke or whatever's going on in the scene of the time, and that's it, you know. So, and also I put in her heart music. I had her playing guitar and being a musician. I never really talked about it, but I had that in me. And that's how, and then what would happen to a young girl who is Benedict Canyon? They're affluent, you know. She's got a father who's emotionally absent now, her mother's dead, her stepmother is not nice to her. She's got those wounds going on, but she's also got all this light and hope in her. And she's a dreamer, she's a romantic, and what would happen to a young person in the 60s? It wasn't intellectualized, but it just happened through the music and the doing. What would a young woman be like in that time who was a Nina? There's rock music, there's the sexual revolution, there's explosions of all kinds of things everywhere, and how would it manifest for her? So she's got all these hunger and dreams, and there's one moment where she yells at Paulina, you know, Shemaev's wife. He takes care of the farm, and she said, how can anyone do anything to an actress? Shouldn't everything she wants be given to her? And I scream at her. And I said afterward to Austin, it's such a powerful moment, and it scares Nina. It's exhilarating, and it scares her, because that's that time when young people suddenly were yelling like that at their elders, and tempers were flying. There wasn't that deference you had, you know, before World War II, and even before the Kennedys, after Kennedy was shot, and even before the sexual revolution. All of a sudden, boundaries are going everywhere. So it's like that also plays into her. Her boundaries are, she's testing her boundaries, but the boundaries in the whole culture and the whole scene and in the industry of acting are already wacky. But the world, they're shifting like crazy, so she doesn't even know where to go. So it fed that character, you know, and she was a tomboy. Right. And that was definitely where she came from.
Right. I like the choices you guys made.
Yes.
It was brave. It was kind of like, okay, wait a second, this is a different seagull. It's going to be a different ride. That was right. Like, yeah,
I loved it. And I'll tell you, without giving away all the secrets, just because I know I'm still working on Sharon and everything, but things around Sharon and all of the energies around that whole thing of Sharon came into my life as Nina. And at first I thought Nina was going to be some version of Sharon, but it wasn't true. It was like Sharon's going, no, I'm going to come, but a little bit later. You know, and Nina was taking on a lot of wild energies of that place, and we actually said it. This is pretty radical. We didn't talk about it. We said it in Benedict Canyon, that was out there, but we actually said it in the house on Cielo Drive. where Sharon lived with Roman Polanski, 10050 Cielo Drive, that August. But it was a farmhouse style, a French-style farmhouse that was built for a French actress in the 40s, and it actually is near a lake, and there's beautiful grounds, and it's a loft type room with high ceilings, and we looked at some pictures. We weren't heavy-handed about it, but we said that's where it is. And then we let it go, but that did come into my building my life as Nina, and just in a sensory way. And because the address doesn't exist anymore, they actually tore that house down in 1994, and on that same spot a new house was built, but they changed the address. Probably because of the history, they changed the address. So you really felt like it was this wild kind of ghost world. It's here, and yet it's not here anymore. So all that came into it. That was just my private work. I didn't talk about all that with everybody.
Yeah, but you really were very psychological, right? In terms of like
my characters.
Yeah, your work is. You can see it that when you come in. Let me see if I can even picture in my head.
Right.
You come in and obviously you're loaded, but it's a lot of work. That's what I'm saying, it's a lot of work behind it.
A lot of work behind it. It's like I load it and I get more stuff that I might be attracted to bringing in, and then the sensory moments of being with another actor or just getting up and saying the words, and that starts telling me new things. It then feeds the psychology. So there's not even there's a little bit of a blueprint when I go in, but there's, I guess, the blueprint of me and early ideas for the character.
Right.
But then the blueprint and the house or the thing that's built starts to be all of that in a mix. The live stuff, the sensory stuff, the inside stuff, everything that's happening with everybody, which I like. Because there's nothing to protect.
Right.
I have what's in here.
Well said.
I guess you could call it a kind of method affinity of using you and just going where you go. But I don't want to go in someplace that I want to protect. I want to find out what that is in the mix of the whole thing. It's like life, I guess.
Yeah.
You know how you change when you're in love, or you change when you're in a new city?
Yes. I know. You tell me all about it.
When you saw Austin chop wood, Austin Pencil chop wood, it changed you. It changed
man, I was like, I'm in love with this man. Jen, I can't even explain it to you.
You don't have to, really.
No, I don't have to, right, But I was like, I'm yours, Austin.
Well, it's like Tennessee Williams, somebody's going to just let you be you and make you even something you don't know what it is yet.
Your instrument is very open. You're very willing to take that ride.
Yeah.
It's like, I think great actors surrender.
Oh, yes, surrender. You surrender.
You surrender.
You surrender in front of an audience, and you surrender with each other and in yourself.
In yourself. You surrender to the audience. You surrender to the playwright. You surrender to your scene partners. You surrender to
and it's the high. It's actually the high of it. It's to surrender.
Right.
Right. I love that word.
And it's like, I always say it, I only surrender to those who surrender. I can only, because when somebody is giving you the heart and guts and blood, and I can almost hear your heart beating.
That's great.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do hear it.
This girl, and that's what you look for, when you go and see a play. And of course, the sense of truth and the sense of commitment and the sense of okay, she's coming from a specific way. She's not coming just from, the wings or from backstage. You're always coming from a certain place.
To come on as Nina, because she was bicycling up Cielo Drive. It's really steep.
Yeah.
So I remember saying to Austin, I couldn't do it. I would have to get up and run. When you'd run your bike up.
Yeah.
I lean it on the side because it's all uphill.
It's all uphill.
So I said, even if my dad lives a few houses down, no. and I'm in shape, I still have to put that bike down.
That's correct.
And so I jump and I do Hindu squats and I do what's that football thing where you go da da da.
Oh, I can't do that.
And twirl around and get myself dizzy and like do things, and then I'd run in.
Yeah, it was like very much. And everybody, the whole cast, Austin, everybody was
specific.
Right on, specific. Everybody, like I said, was a different seagle.
How was that for you? You just were like,
good.
okay, I'm going to go on the ride.
Yeah, because I'm always willing to take that ride because I like whatever it might be. I just want to be like we said it in the first interview. It comes down to it needs to happen.
It needs to happen.
I'm sorry. I don't care if you're from Japan, from the outside technique, or you're from the Kabuki theater, or you're from the Strasbourg Institute, or the Actors Studio. Trust me, I have friends all over from different schools of acting, and it comes down to me.
Right.
Okay, it needs to happen.
Right. It'll release something. It needs to happen. Right. You're not playing a technique or an idea or a concept.
Right.
It needs to just
happen. It needs to really happen.
Right.
And it happened to me, and I was laughing. I found myself laughing over and over, and I can laugh a little hard. Like Lisa was telling me, Sissy, can you repress yourself a little bit? Oh, I'm going to try not to just, can you please just hold back just an inch? I can help
I don't remember that during the show. You had, no, I know.
I'm like, okay.
I heard great laughter, and that was good.
I was laughing with you. I was laughing with everybody.
Yeah,
Austin.
It was great.
And it's like, the lines, the characters, the actors coming together. Like I said, you have an ensemble there.
Right.
And I think that's pretty amazing because you can't, chemistry is something that you can't push and you can't force.
No.
You just can't, you can't.
You can't. And we don't even we don't get into the space of each other's craft. Like, we don't have a way that we work in.
Sure.
Except, I guess, truthfulness. But like you said, it has to just happen. It either happens or it doesn't. And you're doing it together. So I would say everybody's willing. I would say everybody's willing that we work with. They're willing to just go.
He's like, I'm thinking a lot about, even boxing, because I was, thinking boxing and acting has a lot of similarities, but it has a lot of, you're so attentive and you have to be present and you have to be wrapped up.
It's like sports,
in
totally.
the moment, like you need that you're connecting to yourself, connecting to the audience, and you're connecting to the material, and you know that you have to deliver.
Right.
And you have to live the process, and you have to be truthful. So there's a lot of things to consider when you get on stage and do the work. But what's remarkable is when you find everything coming together. Yeah. And when you finally have the process and it comes together, the rehearsal, the discovery comes together, and you have the baby, then you have the play, then you have the show.
Yeah, you have the show.
It is like...
And it's so special and hard to work with actors. Like, some of them work across different projects, and sometimes we have new people come in, but then everybody becomes part of the knowledge,
Right.
But because we work together, you begin to get this kind of vocabulary too.
Yes.
That is just so great. It's just great. It's great to meet new people and work on something.
Right.
But it's great to work with people that you've worked with in different roles.
Look,
you have to come act with us.
I'm getting excited.
Bless you. You have to come act with us. That's what I think.
I have to.
I think so.
I have to. Have you seen The Last Station?
No, not yet. I have to. I know. Shame on me.
I can't tell you. You need to go home.
Tell me.
Get on Netflix tonight, baby girl, and please.
I vow to you.
Watch. No, I vow to you. I told myself to you.
Okay, I vow.
You need to watch Helen Mirren, Christopher Plummer, The Last Station.
Cross my heart. I promise you with all my heart.
You will watch it.
I vow, yes. I love Helen Mirren and I love those artists. I love them.
You do. Now, Sharon Tate in heaven. Why? I wanted to ask you why? Why her? Why? I
love your questions. It's really hard. You know what? It's so intuitive. I'll tell you the stories, but it's just very intuitive. There are a few things that happened though. I did a little thing on One Life to Live. I forget when now. It must have been like 6 years ago, and it was a Vietnam episode. And the hair and makeup said, she looks like Sharon Tate. Let's dress her up like Sharon Tate. And they got very excited, and they're going, yeah. So it was cool. So they did this thing with my hair and the dress, and they went, she